Hello, my little ponies. I'm sorry, but I don't care enough to do the anime voice right now. So, welcome to another installment of fanchat, where today we will be discussing, if you haven't figured this out yet from the title, kids anime. Here to help me discuss is, once again, Postscript. Welcome in back for me.
Hello, everybody.
Thunder Flare for his second installment.
Hello there.
And Verzia.
You can call it, it's easier for you.
He's the zebra. There you go.
I could just call you V if that's okay with you.
Yes, let's call him V. Alrighty, so first off on kids anime, why don't we discuss, seeing as you guys wanted to discuss it before we start, why don't we talk about that beloved yet cringeworthy anime redubbed Sailor Moon. Because I was at that age group. I was there when Sailor Moon went big. I remember going to my first sleepover and them having us watch Sailor Moon. I did not like Sailor Moon. It irritated me, mainly because of the voices. And I will hand the stick over to Postscript, because I know he has something to say.
Honestly, I was going to let everybody else talk first.
Okay, well...
Alright, well, I'm willing to go next. Something I generally noticed about anime in the 90s when it was localized, they put a lot of effort into the theme songs, but absolutely no effort into the dubbing. You know, like the American theme song for Sailor Moon was absolutely fantastic, but the acting, it was just an abysmal train wreck. It was like watching a bad movie like The Room. It's so bad you have to laugh at how hysterically bad their writing is.
Also, I always love the fact that in the title sequence it says, never runs from a real fight, and yet what's the first thing she does when a real fight shows up?
Oh, I got a scratch on my knee. I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Also, I love how her shirt gets shorter during their transformation. As if that would help.
That's the fact because in the original, it's always that short. In America and European, they make the short shirts longer. It's a censoring scene.
Yet I still don't understand how the skirts manage to poof up in the back like they show.
It's magic.
Yeah, magic to make this skirt poof up so much in the back that a guy just has to be standing there to be able to see down your panties. See down your skirt to see... You understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, like, that's why we never get to see them from the back view of their skirts, I swear. It's because from the way it looks, it goes straight up almost. It's so you swear there will be that one spot where guys just get to stand behind them and see their underwear.
Is that like the only thing about Sailor Moon you actually remember? Is that like the only thing about Sailor Moon you actually remember?
Oh no, I remember many things about Sailor Moon. I remember Tuxedo Man, which was so very obviously that one guy that... What's Sailor Moon's name again?
Tuxedo Mask, and his secret identity was Darien.
Yes, and yet Sailor Moon didn't like him in his human form, but loved him as Tuxedo Man, and...
Why do you keep calling him Tuxedo Man?
Because I don't know his real name, and he wears a
Tuxedo Mask.
Tuxedo Mask.
You're close.
if you really wanted to know, his real name is actually Chino Memoru. And her name is Tsukino Usagi.
I'm just gonna keep calling her Sailor Moon.
Who's that? I'm American and ignorant. Oh, sorry, I feel licensed to make quotes of Sailor Moon abridged.
Also, it was always weird that she fought with her own daughter for attention with her husband.
Yeah, that really got creepy.
Kind of weird.
Well, maybe the way that Chibiusa sees it is like Darien. Well, Mamoru isn't technically her father yet. He's younger.
Yeah, but even so,
she has a serious daddy complex. I mean, she's my favorite character, but she still has her flaws.
Yeah, what I never got is why future Sailor Moon keeps letting her daughter go back in time. Letting a 5-year-old go back in time just sounds like a really
She's
bad
not
idea.
5. She's like 12 come Super S.
Well,
okay.
it's hard to tell. You know, with the animation, the characters
she's originally like
either
8
look
or 10.
real. Yeah, they either look really young or real old. You know, like nobody would have guessed that Sailor Moon was 14. Look at her.
Yeah, the art style always makes them look a whole lot older than what they actually are.
Or
Except
a whole
for
lot younger.
actually technically like 8 whenever you first see her in R, but then she's like 14 come, or she's like 12 or 13 come S and Super S.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I actually just got the collab with Sweetie Bloom uploaded on the reboot for Sailor Moon. The collab we did talking about the first episode.
Yep.
Oh, better check that out.
Okay,
Huh?
one other thing I always found weird was the fact that they had 2 cousins, which I know now aren't actual cousins, but 2 cousins be like
Extremely
all
lovey-dovey.
Yes, but now I know
Yeah.
that they aren't cousins. They're like
Yeah.
lesbian mothers. But as a child, it confused me and kind of creeped me out.
What, Hotaru?
Well, like, there's that infamous moment that always stuck in my mind where they're sitting in that windowsill together, you know, and they're like, don't worry, we will always be together. And they hold hands, and you can tell it's a romantic moment. And
Yeah, the dub kind of fucked up a lot.
And like, all I could think as a little kid is, they're cousins. It wasn't so much that they were 2 girls, because it was just, they're cousins.
Deke was trying not to freak out kids with having 2
Lesbian
gay characters, and they ended up freaking out kids even more.
Yeah, because
the series got to R, it was getting kind of weird. The dub was pretty bad. Was at its absolute worst. It stopped being entertaining.
That's actually why they're completely redoing it. They're completely redubbing the series in English, and they're not doing any of the fucking editing that Deke did.
Yeah.
But there's also the reboot series that's trying to follow more along the lines of the original manga that Takeuchi penned. So.
Yeah. And Sweetie Bloom's doing a podcast for that, too.
Do what?
Sweetie Bloom's doing a podcast of a bunch of brothers that watch that, too.
Yeah, you're talking to one of them.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I didn't recognize your voice at first. Oh.
But yes, I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan, so I do have a lot to talk about it. I did always kind of find the fact that those 2 were cousins and they're kind of being a little bit too familiar with each other.
What? So it's okay for Ben and Gwen Tennyson to be real close?
That's the way that I thought about the dub. I thought it seemed a little bit weird to have 2.
No, because Ben and Quinn acted like real cousins. They were constantly fighting with each other, and they each had their own different love interests.
Okay, so just because I have to ask this question now is who is Ben and Quinn?
What? I didn't hear you.
Who is Ben and Quinn?
Ben 10?
Ben.
Oh.
Well,
I actually didn't ever watch that.
I did. I liked it. I watched it I was just growing out of like those TV shows when it came on, and it probably kept me on Cartoon Network for like a couple extra months. I did finish watching the series, though. I haven't. I've seen like maybe one episode of the reamp that they did, which actually isn't so bad. The one that I saw, it was nice to see Quinn reattaching with that weird guy who can like suck metals and stuff. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Well,
Anyways, we were
back
talking
on Sailor
about
Moon.
anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was one thing he did that I actually liked in the dub. One of the characters, one of the villains, was actually supposed to be a transvestite, and they did not want to do that for reasons that are kind of obvious. You know, same reason they didn't want to have lesbian characters, and they ended up making.
The gay guy from the first four big bosses.
Yeah, Sosai.
Girl.
When
Yeah, I
she
thought
was
that
female,
was kind of weird. They had one girl in the entire group. It's like all of the other girls have, huge chests. Why the hell is she so flat chested? And then I got to realize that the dub, or when they dubbed it, they made that character a girl. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
but she seemed like such a more interesting character. I had nothing against anyone who chooses to yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop this right now before I embarrass myself.
I just got so pissed
By the
off
way,
because the
what
dub
is
changed
wrong?
so much stuff that they never should have. That's why they're redubbing the series and actually making it right. Hopefully.
But what is wrong with cross-dressing? We see it all the time in Japanese anime. For instance, Pokemon, which is our next topic. Pokemon. James cross-dresses all the
So
time.
does Jesse. Why does nobody pay attention to that one?
Because broke in their pants without being all weird, although the mustache is a bit much.
I do think it's
Jesse
really,
with
really
the
funny.
mustache, that's kind of off.
I love the fact that you can definitely tell who's top and who's bottom of that pairing because Jesse is always the one in the guy's outfit whenever they do any kind of costumes, and James is always the one in the dress or the tutu or whatever. He is such a freaking sub. It is hilarious.
Yeah, but you gotta love his sweet, submissive nature. I mean, even his Pokemon's dominate over him. I mean, literally, he's always getting bit on the head, or what is it, that weird fly trap one?
Venus, Victory Bell.
Victory Bell.
Victory Bell. Yeah, that.
That thing was just insane. It was like
I loved it whenever he would always summon that thing out, and it would somehow just immediately be on eating him instantly.
And then he got rid of it and got Cacnea instead. The cactus that liked hugging him.
Yes, it's a cactus that adores hugs and hugging its trainer because it loves its trainer so much, but it doesn't realize that it really fucking hurts when you get 1,000 needles at once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jessie doesn't get off scot-free either because she had Lickitung and she had Wobbuffet and all these other really crappy Pokemon.
Wobbuffet was a delight to see.
I always
popping up at
loved
random.
Wobbuffet. He was actually a really useful card to have. Did no one else have a Wobbuffet in their Pokemon deck?
No, actually, because I run a Fire Grass deck.
I like using Wobbuffet. Yeah. Thanks to Shadow Tag, it's a lot easier to use.
I love the Wobbuffet. He was awesome. Although I always loved Jigglypuff best of all in the show. Because if I had that ability, you can guarantee I would sing people to sleep just so I could draw them. Yes. It would be awesome. I could take over the world, send people to sleep, kick them out, and now I'm in the White House. FYI, I would never actually take over America, just so I don't have any problems. I have no interest in taking over the sinking ship Thank you very much. That just makes things worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You are such a fucking optimist.
Me? I love America. It's awesome. Like, where else can you find, like, bacon flavored pop? It's an awesome
What?
I mean, I don't really like bacon or bacon flavored pop, but you can find it here. And in fact, I just had a peanut butter flavored pop the other day. It kind of tasted like rice peanut.
Let's see. Back to Pokemon. I like the first
Pokemon?
few.
Oh yeah.
Back to I like the first few seasons, but after a while, it's like they're just
It gets
doing
way too
the
fucking
same.
repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, Team Rocket tries to steal the Pokemon, but they apparently aren't any good at it, making me wonder why Giovanni doesn't just cut off that rotting limb. I mean, he's supposed to be like a
They actually
criminal
did.
mastermind.
They weren't actually part of Team Rocket. They actually had to re-sign up.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, here's the thing. They always do the same thing. They have festivals that are not actually in the game. They have Team Rocket every fucking episode trying to steal Pikachu and failing. And then they have, like, the gym battles on the big deals because... And then they completely fuck with those. They're never actual real gym battles.
Yeah, it's always, well, I know you didn't win the fight, Ash, but you get the gym badge anyway.
Because like
Because you beat Team Rocket.
Or because you saved you saved my Pokemon from the top of the mountain, or something like that.
Or you taught me something about friendship.
Although I did
That
like,
shit should only work in MLP, not Pokemon.
I did actually like what was it? It's the one with it's like blue or something, and it has the girl with the penguin Pokemon. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like
What?
Pokemon, like Aqua or something. I can't remember. The point is that like Ash gets a new sidekick, and it turns out that a couple of his Pokemon are good for like these prettified Pokemon contests, which I actually like. I like them because I like seeing all the creative ways they could use the Pokemon powers. You know, instead of just beating the living snot out of each other. You know,
that's actually part of the game. Yeah, it's Pokemon contests are actually a part of a few of the games, and you get to win ribbons depending on how well your Pokemon do.
Mhm.
I've never done it myself, but I've heard of people who really do dedicate a lot of time and energy in training certain Pokemon specifically for those contests.
Mhm.
And
I like.
another thing that bothered me about Pokemon was Brock said he was a Pokemon breeder, but did absolutely zero things that have to do with Pokemon breeding. I mean,
Well,
he Pokemon, right? But
I wouldn't actually call him a breeder. They don't want to use the word that I would actually classify Brock as. He's more of a Pokemon nanny because he cares about the nutritional value and quality of the food that goes into the Pokemon, and basically cares about how the Pokemon are actually cared for. But he doesn't really do any breeding. That's the thing.
That we see, thank God.
Of course, he taught me to appreciate the awesomeness that is Crobat, so he does get points for that.
Yes.
He did have that giant Onix, which was awesome. But it was his only real good Pokemon.
What are you talking about?
That eventually evolved into Crobat, and that one was pretty powerful.
And we can't forget Togepi. Togepi.
Togepi was not his. Togepi was Misty.
I know Misty. It was Misty's. By the way, did anybody ever hear about Misty's tear? Like, apparently, like, they had her silhouetted, and when they brought the
Hugging
card...
it naked. And then when they brought it over to the U.S., they gave it a completely new art. Because
I
they
actually
could...
had that card. It was so cute. Squirtle was licking away her tear. Which is also kind of creepy if you think about it.
Anyway, yeah. There's a lot.
What
There was
really
a lot of
movie?
cards actually that were censored whenever they hit North America because of the swastika in one of the Team Rocket
It wasn't
cards.
actually a
There was Missy
swastika.
Tears. Yeah, it was actually reverse. It was a
There's like
reverse
fungus
swastika. It was-
Golbat.
Which actually represents kindness and like
yeah, unity, peace, kindness, or something along those lines. It actually is a good symbol, but the swastika
And,
kind
and Hitler saw it and said, "Hey, I can screw this like I screwed everything else."
and flipped
yeah,
it
and now
around.
the swastika
No,
is
he
basically
actually
seen
did it
as an
because-
evil mark, even though it's been used in cultures for centuries before he ever came into power.
and he flipped it upside down, so it's supposed to be like the opposite of what it
No,
originally.
he actually just reversed it. Like the way that it actually spins, he actually just reversed it and made that his sign.
Yeah.
What
fun.
made me call
All
quits on
of the-
Pokemon Forever was when Misty was no longer the main character, because she was my favorite character.
I never liked Misty.
Because she wouldn't take any of Ash's nonsense. She was always telling him, "Stop being such an idiot."
I love the fact that she kept Brock in line. Brock would go all like Google-eyed, stupid girl crazy anytime a girl would show up around his age. And he would instantly be on their ass, and she would just grab his ear, yank, and just like drag him across the screen. And you get to see the dust piling up behind his feet. It's like, ow, that's gotta hurt. But yeah, he definitely deserved it.
Well, yeah, if you go sniffing at anything that has a tail, you're eventually going to hit a porcupine.
But okay, so is that it for Pokemon?
Sure. How about Dragon Ball Z next?
Actually, I was thinking Digimon, considering it's fairly similar, and yet it seems to have a completely different concept.
Yes.
As far as
Digimon.
storytelling is concerned, Digimon is very different.
Champion.
Digimon is one of my favorite animated shows.
I actually like Digimon a whole lot more than Pokemon because Digimon had a running storyline that they actually pulled off. Pokemon was just exposition.
I like Digimon because the animals were cuter than Pokemon, and they weren't constantly beating each other up. Plus, the characters were actually working together. And I like the whole fact that like they came out of these cute little colorful eggs, like Easter eggs. And then
I like the fact that they didn't walk around with like their champion or ultimate level all the frickin' time. But here's something that's really cool. I got to notice this as I watched the series. Series 1 has, the Digidestin. They've got their Digivices, and then it's explained in the series that the Digimon use the Digivices to access their energy in order to evolve themselves, get bigger and stronger. So there's that. And then nothing else really seemed to happen except for the fact that once the Adventure 02 came along, this is the next generation of the same storyline. They had the D3s, but then they also had the D terminals, which is where the electronic devices that stored their Digi eggs that they use for their armor evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
So then the Digidestin actually had a say in what particular form they might take, depending on what eggs they actually had.
Mm-hmm.
And then Digimon Tamers came along, the third series. And this was awesome because the more powerful, the higher levels their Digimon got, the more connected they were to their Tamers, which is the new Digidestin. They Digivolve normally, just like from Rookie Champion, just like they did in the original series, but when they got to their ultimate forms, they actually could feel the pain of their Digimon in the middle of a fight. And then for their Mega forms, they literally fused with their Digimon. So it's like they pretty much brought this connection closer and closer and closer until Frontier came, and then the children actually became the Digimon by using their Digivices.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Like Power Rangers.
That whole storyline was actually kind of cool. I liked it. I did like it, but Tamer is still one of my favorites.
I thought the Digimon were cute.
Yeah, the Digimon are
That is
cute
all I
until
have
they
to
get
say.
really, really, really fucking big.
I like
Yeah.
the angel Digimon the best, though. She had pretty
Which
wings.
one?
I don't know. She had like big wings. Like she
Because there's
turned.
Angemon, Angemon. Yeah, there's Angemon. There's Seraphimon, and then there's
I know she was blonde
Angemon.
and like she had like armor on her
Angemon.
and like.
Yeah,
Angelomon.
that's Angemon, the kitty cat. Gatomon digivolved into it, and that was actually an ultimate form.
Yeah, I never got that. I'm a cat, now I'm an angel. Okay.
And
Well,
next
it's
to
kinda
I
like-
always liked how they had to finish evolving one form before they could evolve to the next.
Actually,
Until they
after-
learned Warp Digivolution.
yeah, they had Warp Digivolution in the first series, but then
Yeah.
they started just like forcing all of the Digivolutions to go through as quickly as possible. The longer the series goes on,
Because they didn't want to waste their time with transformation sequences. Like, yeah, that's
That was
Sailor
my
Moon's
favorite
territory.
part.
actually, Sailor Moon even started shortening their transformation sequences.
Yeah,
Must have
combining them
noticed.
all together, so like they're transforming like all together. Eventually, My Little Pony will do that. Instead of showing each of the main 6 transforming, they'll just like clump them all together, showing the animation on split screens.
Yeah. I just,
Instead
well,
of rainbow power thing.
Yeah, that's
It
actually
makes
what's
me
kind of
sad.
interesting is the recent My Little Pony Rainbow Power stuff. I brought this question up earlier. Do you guys think that these new Rainbow Powers are going to have like them all together, or are they able to actually transform individually?
I think they can transform individually.
where's all that noise coming from?
Although it's interesting the fact that the rainbow power actually comes from Generation 1, where it was originally kept inside a heart-shaped locket.
Well,
It was used
in
to
that
fight
case, it was
Spirit.
originally held within the Elements of Harmony in Season 1 of G4.
So,
I mean, they've been using rainbows for the series ever since Generation 1, and they're not going to change that up.
series in God, it was the cat woman. What was her name? It was like Catherine.
yeah.
Or something. Huh?
It's the Rainbow of Light
Yes.
from the very first thing.
Yep. So rainbow power has always been a part of My Little Ponies.
That's what I just said.
It
Now,
wasn't until later on. So my guess is that it was originally part of the necklace until eventually they planted like the necklace or something to help protect it, and the Tree of Harmony grew out of that. That is my theory.
well, I think when Megan McCarthy came up with the rainbow power, she didn't come up with any of the rules, just decided they'd worry about that later.
Well, that's probably how the entire series has gone from here. Is they set new stuff in motion, decide to try and fix it later, which they've done before several different times. Anyway, that's all stuff from now. It's I thought we were talking about like animes from our childhood.
Yes.
Yeah, something that
But
impressed me
see, I
about
was talking about My Little Ponies from my childhood. You guys went on the rainbow tangent.
Oh, we got a point there.
Only reason you got off on that is because we started talking about the rainbow power stuff. I don't know who actually brought it up. Actually, I think you brought it up.
Anyway,
Well, one thing that always impressed me about the Digimon Savant dub was when they dealt with the scene where Tai was confused about Matt and TK's relationship. Because in the original Japanese, of course, TK called him, I think it was Oni-chan, but one of the terms for a big brother. And he was confused because they didn't have the same last name. But we couldn't really do that in the States because...
So they decided to call half.
Yeah.
okay, well, seeing as we're talking all about anime, and which we should be, why don't we talk about the wonderful company that brought us all this anime and dubbed it for us, 4chan, or 4Kids.
I was going to say 4chan is the wrong fucking term for
It's
it.
the wrong thing.
I
Sure,
don't know.
fucked up
But
your
how
childhood.
4Kids is.
Sorry, 4Kids. 4Kids. I meant 4Kids.
4Kids is horrible. I'm so glad they're not doing too much anymore because they totally fucked up all of our childhoods.
Well, yeah,
By trying to be the censorship that like 1 Million Moms is trying to pull off or all this other bullshit. If you censor too much, you are literally just going to ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say 4Kids is at least a little bit better than Geek because they managed to at least produce one decent show. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show they made, that was actually really good. And I was
Yeah, but the
surprised they
Sonic-
managed to do something good.
Hey, which
Yeah, but
generation
the
are you talking
Sonic
about? Are you talking about the one from the 90s or are you talking one from the early 2000s?
From the early 2000s.
Late 2000s.
The current one is being done by Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Is the current one starting in about 2009 is done by Nickelodeon, and then we've had the one that began in 2001. But there was also the one in the early 90s, the one that I grew up with, which was a
One
really
of the
really
late
fun
80s
series.
and the early 90s. Yeah. Those are the three Ninja Turtle shows. And there are only three. We do not talk about Next Mutation.
What?
What?
Oh, no, you do not know the horror. There was a live-action TV series of the Ninja Turtles, and it was so phenomenally bad that the creators of the original comic book, they said that they did not wish it. They wished it was never made, basically. That's how bad it was.
Are
They
you
were
talking about the
ashamed
movies,
to.
or are you talking about what?
No, not the movies. They let Saban make a live-action TV show.
Okay.
Turtles, and they were older.
Wait, was this the one with the chick?
Yeah, with the female turtle, and it was just so painful to watch. I saw a few episodes, and I was like, "Ouch!" This hurts.
You know,
my
I don't remember
turtle
any actual
brain.
episodes. I remember clips.
Yeah,
Alright, well, did anybody else watch Soccer Card Capture when they were little kids?
oh, I watched that show, and I actually loved it.
Yeah.
Me
It
too.
wasn't-
I'm actually a big fan of card captors. I did want to get the cloud book that they had at that not Toy Biz. It was
They
it was
have it at Books A Million.
but I've always wanted to get. They actually had two that I know of. They had the cloud book and then they had the Sakura book, and it is literally the same cards, but one is pink. For the Sakura cards, and one is the original Cloud cards. I actually always wanted the Cloud card toys, but I never could find it at the toy store when I actually had money, and then the toy store closed down.
They do
The
have.
one thing that bugged me about Cardcaptor Sakura was in the dub, Sakura just sounded like an adult. She did not sound like a kid.
Although I also
I
The
guess-
thing that concerned me is the representation of her friend.
Yeah, there were. When I found out there were a lot of homosexuals in there, I was like, yeah. So they apparently did a lot of editing, a lot of censorship.
Yeah, she was supposed to be like the biggest, like her best friend was quite possibly the biggest lesbian I've ever seen, and yet they turned her into like always talking about shopping, even though she never did any fucking shopping.
or clothes or costumes or whatever. Anyways, although I always hated the fact that the guy that she was, that liked her, the guy that was always trying to capture the cards from her, I always hated how there's that one scene where he doesn't understand why he can't capture any of the cards. And it's like in the movie or something. And in the show where they dubbed it, it made it seem as if he was just worried over the fact that he couldn't catch the cards. But in the actual anime, it was about how he didn't understand these feelings he was having towards Sakura. You know? Because she's his enemy, and yet he's feeling these emotions towards her, like love and compassion, where he should just feel competitive towards her.
Yeah, then they hook up at the end of the series.
Yeah. I always kind of felt bad for her friend, though.
That's how it is, because tsundere, true.
What I really liked about Kakita Sakura is that there was no transformation. She just dressed up every time differently.
Yeah,
They
her
had an
friend.
animation, but it wasn't a transforming animation like the other animated series. It was literally just her spells. Which, of course, she could only cast if she had the cards.
Mm.
She didn't really do any original magic herself. And I partially had a problem with that, because she was supposed to be like, by the end of all of it, she was supposed to be like this super mage or something, because she had the power of the cards. But she never did anything new except for transform the cards in the second series.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
since we're talking about cards, I think we can transfer to the anime that's the most about cards. We all know what I'm talking about. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, yeah. I still play Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, I spent the past year. I'm going to confess this. I spent the past year trying to build my deck, at least for. I knew I wasn't going to win, but I wanted to play with my favorite cards anyway. So I built this deck of Crystal Beasts. And spent money and time and all this other stuff trying to get everything all ready for it for this convention, because they held a tournament for Yu-Gi-Oh cards last year that brought in 50 different players. I was going to go back to that convention again this year, but then I had to work that weekend, so I totally missed out on it. But I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I still play it online on a Dueling Network.
Oh, poor Postscript. You need a snuggle.
Nah.
I stopped playing when half of my deck got banned from the list of playable cards.
Of course they have to ban cards, because reasons. Yeah, I never
never
played the actual
understood that.
card game, but that show was so very ridiculous. Everyone had extremely ridiculous hair.
The cards.
Yeah, the hair bugged me so much. It's the only real problem I had with the series is the character designs were so fucking wrong.
I like the character design of Yu-Gi-Oh's best friend's sister. The blind chick?
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought it
she
was
was
interesting
never
that they brought
blind.
a
She
concept
was-
like that into a series.
She got the surgery done.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got the surgery done, but I don't know. That's about all you get to see of her. Is she's blind, and then she goes through this surgery deal, and now she's not blind. But then you
Then
never
she
see
plays
her
a
again.
card game against someone. I can't remember who she plays a card game against.
I don't think.
She did,
I
because she
don't remember
did.
if
I
she ever
remember
played.
the episode. She definitely played a card game against someone. Anyways,
What bugged me was in the first episode, Tristan's like, "Huh? What's Duel Monsters?" Like, it is the most popular game in your entire world, and you don't know what it is.
It's the most popular game in the entire world. All of her friends are playing it, and it's like, what's that? It'd be like if it would honestly be if like one of my friends asked me what Magic the Gathering was, because Magic the Gathering is fucking everywhere. I don't play it personally, but I at least know what it is.
I played it. And
I don't play because you have to build your deck to do like everybody builds their deck to do one thing. Nobody does anything like what they do in Yu-Gi-Oh. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you can literally have a deck to do just about anything, and you can have multiple moves to make in that deck, and you don't have to entirely depend on one single move or one single card. Magic the Gathering does not let you do that. Well,
More
I suppose I should
independent
say
stuff.
that the player base of Magic the Gathering does not let you do that.
Terrific.
although I do like the like they made this this thing so you can play on the computer and like it will actually read your cards. So it's kind of cool to be able to actually play that on the cards and then to see like the show's animation on the screen.
Yeah, I did find it a bit odd when Kaiba made the portable versions to dual Yugi. Just challenge them to a card game. You don't need holograms.
You know, and you didn't need to create this entire big, expensive, tournament.
Well, I think that may have been just his way to hide his insecurities.
But how boring would it be if they just play cards without the...
Holograms?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Duel Master.
holographic display is what made it as a show.
Yeah. Yeah, the show Duel Masters tried that, and yeah, have any of you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've actually watched it, and if I did, I haven't watched it enough to actually understand it.
I watched the first episode and I'm like, you're ripping off Magic the Gathering. You're ripping off Magic the Gathering. It was not very impressive.
And
Hey, we
the
got
other
someone
reviewer
new.
dude has shown up. Hello. Anywho's it?
Well,
Hello to that other review dude.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Kind of. People can't really hear me. Let's see. Up next, Howl's Moving Castle. Be careful what you say about this. I've known people have been ripped limb from limb from criticizing it the wrong way.
I've never seen it.
yeah, I've never even heard of it. Let's see. What's that title
Never
again?
heard of it either.
Ah, here it is.
Castle.
See, I already did a search for
Like, it's a
children's
fantastic
anime.
book. Although
Let's
the
see.
movie and the book should be considered separately, as all good movies based off books should be. But still.
There's a film and an anime.
Okay, well, how about
Yeah.
Spirited Away?
I actually watched that. I didn't fall in love with it like other people did, but I thought it was good.
I thought it was
That
pretty
movie
good.
had... Sorry.
Interesting story.
I watched it every year on Cartoon Network. Because they played it once a year on Cartoon Network. And I watched it every year when I was a little kid. It's one thing I look forward to during the winter vacation.
I watched it. I liked it, but I did even as a teenager, before I even got into reviewing or anything else, I noticed that there was a lot of problems in it, specifically with like the characterization of the main character.
Yeah, she's kind of whiny.
Yeah, she's extremely whiny, and yet she manages to get all this stuff to actually happen in her favor without doing anything.
Marisu.
Yeah,
did
she was
like-
definitely very Sue-ish.
I did like the tricks that the witch pulled with the names. How they were doing how the names changed when they just pulled out one character. Like, oh yeah, that's interesting. You can actually do that with the Japanese language. It was an interesting concept, but they didn't really do a lot with it.
Well, because she had to remember her name, otherwise she would never be able to actually go home.
Yeah.
Yes. How about One Piece?
I remember
I'm
really.
more into Naruto than One Piece, so I didn't really watch much of it, but of course I am aware of it. Aware enough to be saddened by the 4Kids dub, but I think that brings pain to everyone.
Okay, well, why don't we discuss Naruto then?
Oh.
Both of them are exact same to me. I've heard of them. I've probably watched an episode or two, but I don't have a lot of interest in either series.
Yeah.
I
They're
remember
kind of-
growing up and really liking Naruto and One Piece. I still watch Shippuden to this day. So,
yeah,
to me, it's
I
always
was-
been that. Continue.
I was introduced to Naruto through the anime, so I really liked it. I was sort of less impressed with Shippuden about the time they got to the invasion arc when Pain showed up. I was like, the manga did this so much better. So there seemed to be a little fluctuation in quality there.
Yeah, the artwork really fell during that time.
Yeah,
And
and then last but certainly not least, Dragon Ball Z.
I've actually gone back to try and watch some of the Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT episodes, and I just don't have too much interest in trying to watch them. And it's like any kind of marathoning like I do most series I watch.
Yeah.
well, we'll
I
say
rarely
this:
have
Dragon Ball Z started off incredibly slow. I mean, I tried to watch the Saiyan arc, and I was like, this is just so dull because they're taking forever to get to the point. But once they got to the Frieza arc, things started to pick up, and it was a lot faster paced. And then we had the Android saga and the Cell saga, and that was just amazing.
The Namek saga.
I really like the fact that the series kept getting extended. Like, it was supposed to end after Frieza was killed and Goku was actually supposed to die on Namek. But the series was so popular, they asked the mangaka to extend the series. So he was then going to end it with the Cell saga, with Goku dying with Cell. But then it still was popular, so it was after.
So this is why Goku keeps dying and coming back.
Oh.
Yeah, I
So
never
at the
really
end of
liked.
GT, he got a free Sunday, according to the Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I actually never really liked Dragon Ball. I watched it just because it was like the first animation on Toonami, and I would watch it just because I didn't want to miss the next anime. And don't get me wrong, the pacing was fine. It's just, it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like Pokemon. The first couple of arcs
Agreed.
are like, cool. Okay. Goku finds out about some danger. He goes off, tries to battle it, fails, goes away, trains, come back, defeats the bad guy. Is supposed to die, but doesn't. And then, same thing happens. New bad guy shows up, bigger and badder than ever. Goku manages to fight him, survive, but not be able to defeat him. So, he then goes away. Trains become more powerful. Sometimes he combines his power with his nemesis. And then they defeat and, yeah, win. Goku supposedly dies. Come back next season. Goku's still alive. And the process repeats again and again and again and again. Also, I think it's kind of illegal for people that have superhuman powers to be in a fighting contest.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad for Mr. Satan. I mean, he just got where he was through hard work and determination, and of course he's he's trumped by all these guys with superpowers.
Well, it starts with Dragon Ball, and all of this is part of the training. So actually, everyone can learn this, but the most guys don't.
True.
Wait a minute, I thought in order to be a Super Saiyan, you had to be born like one of those monkey things
Super-
and then have
Super
like your tail
Saiyan
cut off or
is-
something.
yeah.
Yes,
Super
to be able
Saiyan,
to
yeah.
turn Super Saiyan, you have to be
The
born with
whole
Saiyan blood.
keep attack and so on are literally for everyone. Krillin is 100% human. The little bald guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can see from like that the last anime world they went like 1/16th down the line that the Super Saiyan bloodline keeps going on for a long time.
Yeah, because
I
Pan
felt
is only like, isn't Pan only like 1/8 blood
Yeah.
Saiyan?
yeah. I never really liked to think about GT because it was just so off the wall.
I agree. I really wish they think about GT. I really wish they would have used you because they set him up so well to have his own story at the end of Dragon Ball Z that and they kind of just let him go to waste.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got on my list. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
Oh,
Nothing?
I can't think of anything.
Nope.
We've covered more series than what I thought we would.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then, all of you do your sign up. Postscript, you may start.
I am Postscript of the Burning Crusaders, and I look forward to hearing from all of you.
And the other reviewer dude?
Hey, I'm the review dude. You can find me on my YouTube channel, same name, and I'm currently doing Legend of Korra and Teen Wolf review, so please check them out.
Okay, we should have done The Last Airbender. Anyways, Thunder Flare.
The Last Airbender is not technically anime. Anyway, I'm Thunder Flare. What to see on my channel, I've recently uploaded a video talking about the analysis community. I analyzed the analysis community, so it's like Inception.
Very
Okay,
meta.
the Zebra guy,
You got
you're
that.
up.
Yeah, I'm birthday saying goodbye. I have no project at the time. Problems with my system.
Yep, and I'm Starlight Pony, and this might be the final fan chat for quite some time due to the fact that my college starts up soon. So long for now, and hope to see you soon. And as always, don't forget to sparkle.